Wisconsin Eye's 2014 election coverage is brought to you by the Wisconsin Hospital Association. For over 90 years, a valued voice for Wisconsin hospitals, supporting high-quality, high-value care in communities like yours.
Wisconsin Eye is at the Milwaukee Public Library interviewing candidates in the 2014 election. We're interviewing Molly McGartland. She's a Republican running in the 20th Assembly District. She's from St. Francis. Molly, welcome to Wisconsin Eye.
Thank you for having me.
And a programming note, Wisconsin Eye appreciates the support of the Wisconsin Hospital Association, which represents more than 139 hospitals and health systems, for making these candidate interviews possible. Molly, let's start with this, just a short overview of your bio, and is there any one or two issues that are the reasons that you're running, please?
Well, I am a mother of two, and my husband and I live in St. Francis. We also have a small tavern in Cudahy, Wisconsin. So we're small business
What's
owners
the name
in the
of the
district. The Country Club.
Okay. Excuse me. Go ahead.
And that's okay. And thanks for the plug. And so we've been in the district for, I've been living in the district for about 12 years. I've had this experience before because I've run for this same seat in the 20th district in 2010 and in 2012.
Oh, lessons learned?
So, like I said, persistence, that's for sure, yes,
okay.
Absolutely. And that you really need to get out and meet the constituents, do the door-to-door knocking, and listen. And those are very, very critical lessons that I've learned.
What do you consider the top issue in your campaign?
The top issue of my campaign would be to continue the pro-growth jobs initiatives that Governor Walker has been doing. I think we really need to focus. In our district, we have, it used to be a heavily manufacturing district with Laddish and with Caterpillar just to the south of us. And a lot of those jobs have left the area, and it has really had an impact. So my specific focus would be to bring more jobs and more business to the district in particular.
Okay. Let's talk about some K-12 issues. As you know, the expansion of choice and voucher schools is going to be a big issue in the next session. Do you support choice and voucher, and would you like the 1,000 student cap on the expansion statewide taken off?
Actually, I am a mother of two school-age children, so this is very important to me. I do believe that parents are the first and foremost educators of their children, and they should be given the opportunity and also the responsibility for deciding how and where to educate their children. So I am in favor of a universal school choice, and I do believe that parents know their children the best, and they are able to choose how to best educate their children. And I don't think that that should be limited, those choices should be limited by economic status or by location.
Well, as I do these interviews, I'm finding that a number of candidates are raising the issue of Common Core standards. Do you have a position on those standards?
In general, I do believe that the federal government does put mandates on the states that are unfunded, and that's what seemed to have happened with Common Core when Governor Doyle was still in office back in 2009. The race to the top money was given to the state with the Common Core tied to that. So I think that we really need to bring back the standards to a local level. What is good for somebody in Cudahy, Wisconsin, it might not be the exact same standards that are needed in up north Wisconsin or in Madison or in Rice Lake or in any other area. So I think the control needs to be put back to the local control, to the or to the different school boards, and have a state standard that we can all agree on.
Do you think Wisconsin should join states like Louisiana and others and formally withdraw from Common Core?
Absolutely.
You do? Okay. Let's healthcare question. As you know, the federal government said to all states, if you expand MA healthcare benefits to more low income, we'll pay for it for the first few years. Governor Walker and leaders of the Senate and the Assembly said no. Was that the right decision?
Absolutely. Like you said, for the first few years they'll pay for it. As I just indicated, that the federal government putting mandates on the states, especially those that are unfunded, have to be vigorously fought by the states and by the state legislature. So I'm 100% in support of Governor Walker's decision.
Okay. Transportation funding, there's a projected $650 million shortfall in our transportation budget for the next 2 years, which, if you remember the legislature, you'd be voting on that budget. Do we delay major projects or raise taxes, or any ideas on how to fill that deficit?
Well, I do believe that transportation is a critical issue to keep our economy going here in Wisconsin. We have to be able to move goods and services around to get people to where they need to be. So it is a very definite issue that needs to be addressed. I am not in favor of raising taxes or fees or anything else to be able to address that issue. I think Governor Walker was able to use some creative ways through Act 10 and through other different avenues to find the money within the budget to be able to deal with these things. So I think the transportation budget could possibly be backed up by looking for the money elsewhere in other different budgetary areas.
Okay, I'm asking all candidates this question. Did you have a reaction to Judge Cramp's ruling on same-sex marriage?
Well, I think that the citizens of Wisconsin spoke on this issue. The unfortunate thing is, once again, the federal government's overreach into our state. And I think that the citizens and the passage of the constitutional amendment should be respected here in Wisconsin.
It should, okay. Two candidates for Attorney General say, well, as a tavern owner, you probably have a position on this issue.
Sure.
Two candidates for Attorney General say first offense drunken driving should be a crime. Do you think it should be?
You know, I am, again, because I am a tavern owner, I do understand this issue very well. I do think that we're all human and everybody makes mistakes. But I think what should be done is really enforce the laws that are on the books. We have several drunk driving laws on the books that need to be vigorously enforced, especially for the second, third, and fourth offenses. And you hear of people getting arrested and it's their 9th offense. Well, that's the situation we really, truly need to address.
Okay. A related issue is the beer tax hasn't been raised in decades. Would you consider raising the beer tax to finance some of these ways to help or incarcerate multiple drunken drivers?
Well, I think that Wisconsinites in general are taxed quite enough. Prior to becoming a tavern owner, I was also I'm a real estate agent as well. And when I would help transferees move into the state, it wasn't so much the sticker shock of the homes, but it's the sticker shock of the taxes that people just can't believe here in Wisconsin we are taxed that much. As a small business owner, I feel that we are being taxed and regulated just to death. I mean, we have tightened our belt quite enough, and the individuals that we serve are already scraping and have tightened their belt as well. So I think any more taxes on Wisconsin needs to be vigorously stood against.
There are calls in Washington and Madison to raise the minimum wage. Do you have a position on that, Molly?
You know, I did know this question was coming. The minimum wage, my first job, I was a paper carrier, and my second job, I worked in a small hometown pharmacy. And I was 16 years old. I was paid minimum wage, and I can't recall exactly, that was so long ago, exactly what that was, but at the same time, it was not a job meant to support a family of 4. It's an entry-level job where I learned people skills, I learned how to count money, give change, how to take direction, how to follow things that I were told to do. And I think entry-level jobs like that should be just that, a place to learn on the job and not necessarily to support a family on a minimum wage job. So I think that if the minimum wage is raised, you're essentially making it more difficult for people to enter the workforce. And that's the issue that we're going to run against.
Okay. I've asked you about a few campaign issues. Are there any you want to add? Is there anything else that is a central campaign theme to your campaign?
Actually, just being an advocate for the South Side. If you really go and drive around the 20th District, what you find are a lot of buildings that are empty, a lot of vacant lots. We really need to invigorate the South Side, and because the people of the South Side really are the best treasure that we have to offer in the 20th District. And I think we need somebody, a true advocate, not just a representative, to go out and to find those businesses that are interested in hardworking people to come down and to establish themselves in the 20th District.
And then finally, if you choose to do it, do you want to highlight any differences between you and your opponents in the August 12th primary?
Well, my opponents are 2 lovely gentlemen. I think we're all out there trying to do our best to promote the message of the Republican Party. I do recall, I think it was a quote from William F. Buckley, who said, always vote for the person who's the most conservative that can win. And I do believe I tick both of those boxes off in this race.
Thank you.
Sure.
Molly excuse me, I'll get this right. Molly McGartland of St. Francis is a Republican candidate in the 20th Assembly District. Molly, I apologize for biffing your name, but thank you very much for talking to Wisconsin.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.